We start once again this hour with the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and President Donald Trump is speaking ahead of his Alaska summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin, saying economic incentives and sanctions are very powerful, though he would rather not say what specific incentives are on the table. Trump said his sanctions threats may have played a role in Putin's decision to seek the meeting. Trump noted he doesn't know if the press conference will be joint, but if talks go well, he will call Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders for a second meeting. He also cautioned that an immediate ceasefire may not be reached. The White House says Trump wants to exhaust all options to achieve a peaceful end to the war when he meets Putin tomorrow. Officials confirm a press conference is planned after the talks and stress that while Trump has plenty of tools if needed, the main objective is a diplomatic resolution. Well, joining us to discuss these latest updates and the ongoing discussions, of course, ahead of this summit, one-on-one summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, Ambassador Prabhu Dayal, a former diplomat who joins us live from New Delhi. Ambassador Dayal, thank you for your time. Is Trump urging caution here because he's conscious that a deal may not be any closer at the end of this meeting, or is he truly looking at this as a setup before bringing in Ukraine and European powers?
Well, the White House is clearly lowering expectations for any breakthrough from President Trump's summit with the Russian President Vladimir Putin. And he's using terms like a listening session and feel-out meeting to describe the planned discussion about the war in Ukraine. Now, Trump and other administration officials in the U.S. have also indicated that Friday's summit in Alaska is not meant to be one that will bring an end to the fighting in Ukraine, but it'll be like, a feel-out session. And the president and his team have also avoided predicting any deliverables that might come out of the meeting. And they've noted that it will probably involve a follow-up summit, which will take place between both Putin and the Ukrainian President Zelensky for any concrete progress to be made on the ceasefire. So in other words, while President Trump had initially made it clear that he was having very high expectations, now there is a sign that he is clearly lowering expectations. And I think that despite the summit meeting, which is going to take place, ending the Russia-Ukraine war is going to be extremely difficult.
Yes.
Due to the significant disagreements on key issues and a lack of trust between the two sides. Neither side is willing to compromise on their core demands, and this makes a peaceful resolution a highly complex challenge.
Absolutely. And Ambassador Dayal, we are just playing some graphics on screen of some quotes of Donald Trump. The first one was, I think he's going to get a deal done, a slight contradiction to some comments that Trump has just made. But I want to look at his highlighting of sanctions as a tool and a weapon that could be used in these conversations. Of course, threats of sanctions on Russia have been a permanent fixture in recent weeks, but so far only India have bore the brunt of any tariffs relating to Russia's war with Ukraine. Do you think Trump has the confidence and the conviction to really push home sanctions on Russia? Because so far, it's only India that have felt any of that burden of tariffs relating to the purchase of Russian oil because Russia's continuing its war in Ukraine.
Yes, you're absolutely right. His sanctions have till now only targeted India. Even China has been spared, which is a much, much bigger buyer of Russian oil. And of course, his sanctions have not increased on against Russia. Of course, he has threatened severe consequences if Russia did not stop the fighting after the summit. But then, he has also acknowledged that he is unlikely to be able to get Putin to stop targeting Ukrainian officials. So while initially he sounded very, very aggressive, but he seems to be toning down his rhetoric, and he's realizing that he can't really pressurize the Russians because there are grave limitations to his ability to do so.
Yes, absolutely. Ambassador Dayal, if you do stay with us, we're going to bring